What's up guys, Paul with Stud Pack 2. Welcome back to the channel. We got a cool project for you today. We're in the garage of the Stud Pack Dream House compound, right? And when we plumb the garage, we plumbed in for a garage sink. But as you can see, we've never installed one, and it's a real drag because Jordan, Rad, and I have been having to use the garden hose whenever we want to wash our hands. So a sink would be a great addition. So in this video, I'm going to travel back in time to my commercial days, and we are going to install an awesome stainless steel commercial sink. I scoured the internet for them online. I also checked out all the used restaurant equipment places in Houston. Couldn't find one, so I simply bought a brand new one for about $330. The plastic ones, the fiberglass ones, the ones that are sold as laundry tubs, kind of drive me crazy. So Rad and I are going to install this awesome stainless steel single compartment sink with a drain board on the right. You can get these in almost any configurations. Drain boards on the left, drain boards on both sides. 1, 2, 3, 4 compartment sinks. We don't have room for that. So the single compartment beauty is going to be the perfect choice for us. I've got an awesome faucet. We're going to put in a chrome drain. So the first step is to simply put the legs on. They go on these sockets and we tighten these set screws. Let's get started. The sink comes with these really nice chrome legs with adjustable feet so you can get them level no matter what your floor is doing. But before we put the legs on, I think it would make sense to put the basket strainer on so that the legs aren't in the way of our tools tightening this nut right here. So time to install the basket strainer. Of course, it's going to go inside just like that. And we have to seal under this flange, between this flange and the lip on the sink right here. Now I use plumber's putty, but a lot of people are going to say, just use silicone. Here's why I don't. 3 reasons. Number 1, it is tough to clean it up, right? If it squeezes out, it's going to be hard to clean that unless you have a MUCKENDER towel. And then the second reason is, in my opinion, the silicone would have to dry or set up for quite a while before you could use the sink. And then number 3, it's going to be very difficult for the next person to remove this because the silicone acts as an adhesive also. If you've ever had to try to remove silicone from a couple parts, it's very difficult. You don't have any of those problems with plumber's putty. You can use it right away. It's easy to take apart and it's easy to clean up. So as you can see, I've already started a rope right here. My goal is to roll it between my hands and get a rope that is long enough to wrap around the circumference of the basket strainer one time. I'm liking that, Rad.
Nice.
Oh yeah, look at that.
Oh, perfect.
Yeah, that comes with experience, doing this a million times, and then you kind of know what the right length is. So we bed it in there. I'm gonna put it in the other side here. And then typically if there were writing on here, like if it was for disposal and there was writing, I would line the writing up. So when you look in the sink, the writing is lined up with the sink. It's not twisted, but we don't have that issue with this one. I'm going to simply put that in here. I'm going to grab it with my right hand and pull and set it so it'll just stay right there. Now it's time for the washers. The strainer comes with a couple of different washers. This paper one, sometimes they're more fibrous like cardboard, and the rubber washer. Which one goes first? Well, it's the rubber washer. So the rubber washer is going to go on there, then the paper washer, and then the ring. That way the ring can slide against this and compress the rubber washer against the stainless steel, forming a seal. If you try to put it this way, 2 things would happen. That paper washer is never going to form a seal, and then when you try to tighten this nut, it's going to simply grab the rubber and try to like twist it and deform it. So we're going to turn it the other way like that and put this nut on there. Now I have 2 different wrenches to tighten that nut, kind of a spanner type and this type. This is one of those universal fits. It doesn't fit it very well, but it grabs it a lot better than that spanner wrench. So I think I'm going to use it. I'm going to just hand tighten it. Boom. Put that on there. And then to keep the body of the drain from turning, I'm going to put these pliers in there like that. They make a tool for that. I just simply forgot it this morning. So these will work in a pinch. These are all kind of specialized tools, so it's cool that you can use some pliers like that to tighten that nut. And speaking of specialized tools, if you don't have these, a screwdriver and a hammer against that lug will tighten that as well. So I'm going to keep going here, Rad. Oop. And then what I'm looking for is the putty on the other side to squeeze out between the basket strainer and the sink. All right, we're getting there.
Nice.
Okay, cool. Now that the basket strainer is installed, we're going to put on the legs. Couldn't be any easier. Put them in the socket and tighten the 2 Allen screws. They send you a little Allen wrench like that, but we are going to use our new Krowne Allen wrenches that they sent us. Thank you very much to Krowne, and this is a 4mm. Tighten that one and the other one, just snug them up, no need to go crazy. Let's put on the other 3. All right guys, before we go any further, let's put the sink in position against the wall because I want to make sure that the rough end plumbing pipe is not too high or too low, because this is a pretty deep sink, right? And if I have to move that pipe in the wall, I want to know now. And we're actually going to plumb it up with some 17 gauge Krowne. I love this stuff, so I'm going to carry this guy over there while Rad's on the camera. It's not too heavy. Watch out for the Mustang. Oh, look at that beauty.
That's cool.
Okay, so come on that side, Rad. So the PEX lines, that's no problem, right? We're going to cut these and put an angle stop pointed up. We got plenty of room right here because this part of the backsplash is going to hit the wall. But what I'm concerned about is the drain. So let me go grab that, and we're going to rough fit the drain together and see what we're looking like. All right, guys, this is going to make or break the project, but I think we're okay. Yep. See that?
Oh, nice.
So now, let me grab this other piece. So a flanged tail piece, right? So the flanged part goes up here. There's a washer that goes there. And I can already tell it's going to be fine because this trap arm right here has to fit there. And we're a beauty, man. We're golden.
Awesome.
That's going to look great. So let's get the sink out of the way since we know this will fit. Worst case, we would have had to open the wall and raise or lower the drain. But let's put our PEX lines on, our angle stops, start plumbing this guy up. So the valves we use, we simply picked up at our local Home Depot this morning. And there we go. A 1/2 inch by 3/8 compression, 1/4 turn, angle stop. So let me go over all that. We have 1/2 inch PEX coming out of the wall. PEX A, it's the expansion type of PEX, right? We use this guy, right, to put the connector on those sleeves. So it says right there, cold expansion PEX, that's PEX A. If you had PEX B, the crimp type, it's gonna say crimp PEX right there, or simply crimp. If you wanted to sweat this valve onto some copper, it would say sweat right there. So that's how you know what your inlet is going to be. So our inlet is this part of the valve, and that's the inlet for the water from your house to the fixture. You can also get compression there. You can get iron pipe size. There are so many different kind of valves. Just make sure you know what kind of pipe is coming out of your wall, and then almost every sink is going to be 3/8 compression going up like that. We're going to get into that later. So we have this deep sink, right? I don't want to have to push the sink against the wall and have it crash into the valve. And then my sink backsplash here isn't tight all the way to the wall. So how much room do I have? I've got 3 inches from the back of the sink to the back of the backsplash. Now I'm kind of right in this zone right here, but I don't want to take any chances. So I am going to grab a Sharpie, a tape measure, and hold my valve up there. So the top of the handle, I like 2.5, Rad, what do you think?
Yeah, that looks really good.
2.5 right there. And then I'm going to mark the PEX right here at the shoulder where it's going to bottom out on the valve. Now I know I got the crimp ring, it's going to add a little, but I'm not worried about it. Just under 1 1/4, just under 1 1/4. So now we can cut that and install our valves. Now I also picked up some escutcheons. If you saw our ad on installing the water drop filter over there, I didn't have the escutcheons because they're hard to find, at least where we live. That is 1-inch PEX, so I had to find a 1-inch escutcheon that would fit 1-inch PEX. Turns out it is CTS. PEX is CTS copper tubing size. So these escutcheons are for 1/2 inch copper, but they also fit 1/2 inch PEX. So that's my whole story on these escutcheons. Let's turn off the water there now. We can simply do it at the water filter instead of outside. We're going to cut this pipe, slide on our escutcheons, and install our valves.
Okay, Paul, it's off.
I'm going to relieve the pressure on the system at the hose so we don't get a bath over there. I'm still on here, bud. Sure that's off?
Yeah.
I can see it's off.
Yeah.
Oh, you know what it is? You know what it is? We intentionally, when we plumb this building, we put the hose bibs first before the loop, so you're not having to treat all this water that you're using to wash the car. So we are actually before that, so we got to bleed the water somewhere else.
So don't drink the hose water.
Oh, pressure washer. Pressure washer. We can bleed the water using the pressure washer.
Nice.
I don't even need that on. I just need to.
Nice.
I just need to do that. There we go. Okay, after all that, we got the water off. So a lot of people don't know that Krowne makes plumbing tools also. They make all kind of tools in addition to tools for the electrical trade, which they've been known for since the 1800s. Dude, can you believe there's a company still making tools since the 1800s?
That's awesome.
So we're gonna use these loppers to cut that off right on my mark. Rad, you got that little bucket and just in case. Boom. Oh, discussion, don't forget the discussion. All that talk about discussions and I'm forgetting it. There you go.
That was a lot more water than I thought.
Yeah, well, we got the second story, right? You got all that pressure up there. There we go.
Gotcha. Nice.
Try that with copper. All right, let's do the cold side. Rinse and repeat. Nice, bud.
Those are great.
That was easy. All right, let's turn the water back on, work on the drain. Before we turn the water back on, we're gonna wait just a couple of more minutes to make sure that that PEX has returned to its memory and sealing around the valve body. So in the meantime, I'm take my razor blade around this drain, clean up that last little bit of putty, take this little wad, and it's like silly putty, and it'll just pick it right up. Clean that out. Cool.
Nice.
That's the other reason I love a stainless steel sink in a garage, because it's always going to look like this, right? It's easy to clean stainless steel, but it's not so easy to clean those fiberglass and plastic ones. All right, Rad, let's turn the water back on. Move to our next step. All right, guys, a quick break in today's project to tell you about the sponsor of today's video, Blue Eddy. They've already sponsored one of our videos before, and we absolutely love their products. And they just sent us their Elite 400 rechargeable power supply. We've got it charging right now. I'm already at 34%. And the first thing I noticed when I opened the box, game changer, it's got wheels and a telescopic handle, so it makes moving it around easy for anyone. The Elite 400 charges to 80% in just 70 minutes. So while this one's topping off, let me show you all the features. There are 4 ways to charge it. 2 on the AC side, a wall outlet like we have here, or just plug it into your backup generator. On the DC side, you can get cables. They go right here, and those cables can either attach to a solar panel to charge the unit, and you can also charge it via the cigarette lighter on a running vehicle. Pretty cool. So now that we got power into the unit, how do we get it out? Well, on the AC side, we have 4 standard receptacles right here with a circuit breaker on the right side. There's your AC power button. And on the DC side, hit that button and it's gonna activate all these DC ports right there. And once we're fully charged, you're gonna have 2,800 watts of available power at 3.8 kWh. Pretty awesome for such a small mobile unit. And of course, all the Blue Eddy units are extremely well made. And once you have it charged to 100%, you're just gonna leave it plugged in because it only pulls 3 watts on standby power. So it's very efficient and long lasting. And to make it even easier, there's a Blue Eddy app. So your phone acts as a control panel as well. So even if you're away from home, the office, wherever you have the unit installed, you can control all the devices, all the plugs from the convenience of your phone. So the Blue Eddy Elite 400 is perfect for home use, perfect for a job site like we're using it, and it's awesome if you're going camping. So whether your phone battery is at 0% and you're dead in the water, or you simply need power at the job site, Blue Eddy's got you covered. We're gonna leave a link in the description. Be sure to check them out. They have a ton of products and we love all of them. Thanks so much to Blue Eddy for sponsoring our video and keeping us powered up, but we gotta head back to work. Okay guys, just to double check, Brad and I pushed the sink against the wall and we cleared the valves just like we planned. There they are right there. Actually a little bit like right there below them, huh Rad?
Yeah, it's
and
perfect.
If we wanted to, we said we could actually raise the feet a little to give ourselves a little more clearance. But what we're gonna do next is actually install the drain, because I have to glue this fitting onto the pipe coming out of the wall. And I want that glue to set up a little bit, so we're gonna glue this first and then install our faucet. That way by the time we're all done, we can turn the water on and try out our sink. Now I'm using 17 gauge brass chrome plated P-trap and a wall tube and an extension. You could also use the 1.5" polypropylene stuff, and it all still work fine with a trap adapter. A trap adapter adapts between the trap, this arm, and the pipe coming out of the wall. In our case, we have an 1.5" P-trap right here, and we have 1.5" pipe PVC coming out of the wall. So I've got a PVC trap adapter, 1.5" for the P-trap, an 1.5" for the pipe coming out of the wall. These come in all different flavors. You got 1.25", this is gonna be 1.25". 2" ABS, these come in brass, threaded, you name it, they got it. But the trap adapter is your friend when you're plumbing up a sink like this. Now the other thing about this trap adapter, the washer is integral to the nut. I don't know if you can see that, Rad, but there's the washer right there, molded in as part of the nut. A lot of times that washer will be separate, but in this case it is not. So when I tighten the nut, you can see what happens. That integral washer is going to get compressed against the pipe and against this bevel on the inside of the trap adapter, making a seal. So what I'm going to do, I'm not going to measure, this is just going to be eyeballing it. And just for beauty's sake, I want as much of this exposed as I can. So I'm going to get my Sharpie, get under here. A lot of plumbing is just eyeballing, and that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to get that right there where it goes. And I'm referencing right about here on the inside of this hub, because that's where this pipe is going to go inside, right? So I'm going to go there, and then I'm going to go about right there. And if I'm too long, then that's okay, because I can just slide this inside and it's going to be perfect. So let's move the sink. We'll cut this, clean off all this spray foam. That's what that yellow stuff is you're seeing right there. Clean this pipe. We'll put on the escutcheon and glue on our trap adapter. Pretty straight.
Nice.
All right, let's clean off that spray foam and put on the escutcheon. All right, guys, got our escutcheon on there now. I know, I got a white one and I got these chrome plated ones. It is so difficult to find them all to match. It's just a whole experience when you're trying to find escutcheon. So that's the best I could do, but it works, and it's a garage anyway. So after I cut that with the circular saw, took my utility knife, gonna deburr that outside edge a little bit, make it nice and clean. Now there are 3 different kinds of PVC pipe primers that I know about. I like using clear on finish work, because if you spill it, you're not gonna stain a customer's home, right? Been there, done that. And of course they also make the purple one, which the inspectors like because they can see it. And they make an unpurple primer, which is clear, but it shows in UV light. So an inspector can see that you use purple primer, but you're not making a big mess all over the pipe. So I've got this clear stuff right here. We are going to clean it. And the inside of the trap adapter. And glue on our trap adapter and let it dry. I got this spray foam on here, so I'm trying to clean it off really well. I might even come back with a rag. Try to braid it off a little. There we go.
Oh, nice.
One more time. I like that. So you're still working over a rag, even in the garage. Clear primer. Put the lid on, get it out of my way so I don't knock it over. A lot of guys you'll see, they tape these together, but I just bought this one, so I haven't had time to do that. Got our cement. And we're gonna push, quarter turn, and hold. Because watch what happens if I let go.
Whoa.
See it push off? Bad news. So we're gonna hold until that cement makes its final bond. It just comes from experience. Shouldn't take long. I'm just gonna hold it a little bit longer because I don't want to come back and fix it.
100%.
Okay, it's not moving, so I'm gonna let go. And we're all set for our P-trap. Could be easier, guys. Just like that. So while this dries, well, it doesn't really dry, but you know what I mean. While that sets up, let's put on our faucet.
Oh, it's interesting that there's only 2 holes. Is that like where the faucet goes on this one?
You got it, and here is the faucet. It is a Krowne 12-802L.
Nice.
Got this off of one of the restaurant supply companies online. Look at that beauty. So it's gonna mount just like this.
Oh, that's cool.
Yep, and then I got this big 8-inch gooseneck. Be perfect for this sink, look at that. So we're actually gonna install this first. Here's all the hardware. We're gonna attach the supply lines and let them hang, and then we'll put the whole sink against the wall and hook up the supply lines. That way, we're doing all this work behind the sink before we install the sink. Now, this faucet did not come with these two brass 90s and all this hardware right here. This is a separate mounting kit. Really important that you get these. There's the number. It's a Krowne 21-192L. In a commercial situation, the plumbers would have the two pipes coming out of the wall right here, right? And they would line up with these two most of the time. That's been my experience. And then because this is exactly 8 inches on center, what if the plumbers didn't get that exactly 8 inches on center? What if it's 8 and an 8 or 7 and 7/8?
Yikes.
You're kind of up a creek. Well, they've got you figured out. This fitting screws on there, and then that's 1/2-inch pipe thread that would screw onto the pipe coming out of the wall. Or in our case, it's going to screw on to this fitting right here. Check that out. See how the pipe thread is concentric of this part?
Yeah.
It's off center. So you can rotate these and you can dial it in a little better if the plumber does not have the pipes exactly 8 inches on center.
Nice.
If it's too big, you put them off to the side like that. If it's too narrow, you can dial them in like that. We don't have that issue here, but that's a really cool feature of this system. So the first part for us is to install these 90s. So I got a rubber washer, the stamped steel plate or washer, a brass nut, and then a 1/2-inch nipple. Now, most pipe nipples are tapered, right? But that is a straight one. In other words, if it was a regular pipe nipple that's tapered, you would not be able to get this lock nut and spin it all the way down because the threads are actually tapered. But the inside body of the 90 is tapered. So when I put this straight threaded nipple in the tapered threads of the 90, it's going to seal. And we're going to put tape and pipe dope around it. So a long way of saying the manufacturer's got you covered. So it goes like this. I'm going to show you the system. We're going to put pipe dope and tape on here, thread it into the 90. We're going to run that all the way back, put those on like this. We're going to grab this fitting that came with the faucet. That goes there. We're going to screw that on there, and we're going to make everything tight. And then we can adjust these later to line up with the faucet. Once these two are installed, it's just a matter of tightening this nut onto the faucet and putting on our supply lines. So let's take all this apart, get them set up, and install them. All right, guys, here's how I put on pipe tape. Now we're using Blue Monster tape and Blue Monster pipe dope. So I get it like this, coming off the roll on the bottom. Okay, it's coming off towards me. I'm gonna hold my fitting in my left hand, and using my left thumb, I'm going to hold down that little tail of the pipe tape. Then I can just go around like that. It comes off the spool, and I'm not making a big mess and wasting the pipe tape. So that's 3 or 4 turns. That's all I need, in my opinion. Boom. Let me show you one more time. Hold the tail with your thumb. And then once you get one pass, you can let go with your thumb because now it won't come off. 2, 3, and 4. Boom. Tear it off, and we're good to go. Now I'm going to put a thin coating of pipe dope on there. Probably don't need both, but to me it's good insurance. And we're going to screw that into our 90. Hand tight. Let's do the other one. Hand tight. Now same thing. Pipe tape and pipe dope on this end. And we're going to screw them together through the body of the backsplash of the sink. All right, hand tight. Now we're going to put on this locking nut. The stamped washer in this direction, not that way, this way. And then this washer, it has ridges on one side, flat on the other. Flat side goes towards the washer, just like that. Let's do the other one. Now we're going to put pipe tape and pipe dope there and connect these together through the backsplash of the sink. All right, let's put it all together. Okay, the threads are started. Let me go get a couple of wrenches and we'll tighten it up. Okay, now it's hand tight. Now it's time to tighten it. So I'm going to use a Krowne crescent wrench. This is their 10-inch one. It is a 0507-10, and they also make pipe wrenches. This is a cast aluminum one. It's it's a 68224. I'm going to put that on the brass 90 in the back, and then on the front, there's two flats on the side right here of this fitting. So I've got a smooth jawed tool. Don't want to use like a serrated edge. You will scratch the chrome off. See that a lot. So I'm going to put these on there and we're going to tighten. So as I was tightening both sides, I tightened it against this nut. So I'm actually going to run this nut a little back towards me and see if I can get another half a turn or so on these fittings. And then this nut is actually what's going to jam everything in place and hold it like that. See how it won't turn? But I feel like I can get a little bit more on there, so I'm going to loosen this and tighten these a little more. The little 8-inch Krowne gets in there really well. And I should be able to back that off. There we go. It's a little bit of figuring out, but it's a lot easier than being under a sink, right? We've all been there, right on our backs. At least this one is right at a comfortable working height. So now I'm going to get back on there. And see, now I can tighten it more. And I'm just trying to go a little more because those were straight threads on that nipple like I showed you, not tapered. So I want to make sure I got a good watertight connection. All right, I feel like that's good, bud.
Looks awesome.
So I was having trouble getting this standard crescent wrench in there to tighten that. So I actually was at the Krowne Summit a few months ago, met a guy, has a YouTube channel called Morgan's Maintenance, and he was showing these crescent wrenches by, how would you say that, Rad?
Baco.
Look how thin that is.
Yeah, nice.
So that is perfect for something like this, to get in there like that, hold the back side or the front side, and now I can tighten that. Look at that, nice. And that's really all I need. That is solid, and when I put the faucet on there, it's not going anywhere. All right, let's do the same thing to the other one. We'll mount our faucet. Now they're snug, but I can still move these around a little bit. That's because we need to line up in the front, right? So 2 flat washers, 1 in each. Boom. There's the other one. Now we're going to attach this faucet body, and then we can tighten the back knowing that we're lined up in the front. There we go, bud.
Nice. Nailed it.
Nailed it. All right, let's tighten it all up. Okay, we're all tight. The last fitting is this nut right here. You got to make sure you tighten that one. That's it. Now let's put on the spout. So there's the spout, and it comes with, where is it? A little envelope of plumber's grease. So we're going to put the grease on the O-rings so that they slide inside the body here without tearing. Now that'll slide right in there, like that, and we'll snug up this nut. Notice I said snug, not tight. That's it. Now that the faucet's all installed, let's connect our supply lines. Done. So now we're going to put the sink back in its spot where it's going to live forever, and we're going to level it, center it with the drain, and we're going to attach it to the wall through this flange. All right, guys, perfectly level. Now our next step is to attach it to the wall, because we can't have that going on, right? And so the way I do that is I go through this flange into the wall. Now I'm going to use my favorite anchor, a toggler with a 1/4-inch stainless steel bolt, because this is all stainless. We want it to look nice. We don't want these to rust. Now the reason I'm going into the drywall instead of a stud is because behind this drywall we have water lines, we have a drain line, and we have all our electrical. I don't want to take the chance of drilling into a stud and hitting any of that. So if I drill through the drywall, I know I won't hit any of it because I can stop the bit, if that makes sense. So what I'm going to do first is drill through this flange with a step drill, a hole here and a hole on the other side. We'll mark the drywall, install our anchors, bolt it to the wall. And I'm drilling here because I know there's not a stud there. How do I know that? Well, we know there's a stud there. Got the rare earth magnet. And where's the screw? There it is. That's the screw holding the drywall to the stud. So if I come over 16 inches, boom, there's the other one. Another 16, there's the other one. So we're going to put a bolt here and a bolt there. And I think, Red, I'm just going to drill this while it's against the wall. Let me get my glasses. Because stainless is pretty brutal when you drill it. It gets really hot and it's hard to drill. I got a little smaller bit, it won't walk on me. So that second step is 1/4-inch. So that's my final dimension. There you go. Still one over there. We'll drill through the sheetrock. 1/2-inch spade build for the anchor. And a couple of 1/4-20 Toggler brand anchors. I'm gonna put it through the hole like that. Boom. Get these even, like that. Now we're like that in the wall. Hold here with my left hand and push this collar all the way in. And it's on a ratchet, like a zip tie. We're gonna go all the way in, and then you're gonna break these off. Boom, boom. And now this is held in place on the other side of the wall. So before we attach our sink to our wall, we wanna work smart, and we're gonna attach our supply lines. But I don't wanna put it up here and have all this bunched up behind the sink. So we're gonna loop around and go under like this. Here's the beauty of PEX, right? I can just turn this exactly where I want it with no leaks. Look at that. Can't do that with copper either. Well, you could. I guess you could do it with a compression fitting, but not that easily. And then snug this up. And again, you don't have to get crazy on these because it's a rubber O-ring or rubber seal making that connection. That's all I need, Rad. Do this one. Number 3 Phillips head screw. Number 3 Phillips bit. One of my pet peeves when people use a Phillips bit that's too small and it ruins the head of the screw. How easy is that, guys? Look at that. All right, all bolted to the wall now. When we tighten the bolts, it did pick up the front end of the sink a little bit off the ground, so easy solution. We just undid these a little bit, right? Loosened them, so now the front legs are well supported. Check the back ones, we're good to go. One more step, guys, connect the drain. So our P-trap is gonna go into the trap adapter like that, and the tail piece is gonna go right here. So I'm just gonna get my Sharpie. I'm gonna be about right there on it. So this part can go in the P-trap. Let me show you. See how it's flared out right here? That's for that to slide in. So you have all that adjustment, right? Oftentimes you'll see guys mistakenly put this end of the P-trap back here, and that's wrong. So it's got to go here. It's made for the tail piece, so you don't have to get an exact measurement. But that's our measurement. Let me show you how we cut it. So we're going to cut it with another Klein plumbing tool. This is their 50061 tubing cutter. Check this out. Look at that little feature. A little reamer. So you can remove that burr on the inside of the pipe. Never seen that before. Integrated into a pipe cutter. Really love that. And of course you got the quick adjust right here. And there's actually a spare blade in the handle. A little wheel. So way back in the day, I worked at a place that didn't have tools like this, but we had to install sinks like this, and I had to cut this kind of pipe in a vise with a hacksaw. It was absolutely brutal, and I hated it. And I remember when I first got a tool like this to cut it, man, that was the best. It is so easy. You can imagine what it's like to cut something like that with a hacksaw. It is not pretty. So I'm just going around a couple times, a little tighten. And this is 17 gauge, it's pretty stout. If you buy the thin stuff, there's like a budget brand of this. It's really, really thin. Wouldn't recommend it, but sometimes that's what you gotta use. You gotta go real slow when you're doing this, or you'll crush the pipe. I'm almost through, I can hear it, there we go. So I'm actually gonna use that little reamer and take out that burr on the inside. It should be a little curly Q, there we go. See it, Rad?
Yeah.
How nice is that to have it in the tool? Oh man, look at that. Okay, that's enough, Paul. All right, here we go. This washer, a little step washer, comes with the basket strainer, goes right there. The nut that comes with the basket strainer, like that. The nut that comes with the P-trap. These are all called slip joint nuts. And then this washer, see this one has a bevel, can you see that, Rad?
Yeah.
Bevel goes down. On there.
Yep. Nice. Clean.
Yep. Looks nice, huh?
Yeah.
All right, we'll tighten everything with some pliers. Turn the water on, give it a check. All right, all hooked up, ready to go. Now, interesting thing, this spout, this faucet comes with a second aerator. And look what it says on the bag. A 1.8 GPM, gallon per minute, water-saving aerator is installed on the faucet. That's this one right here. But in this bag is a higher 2.2 gallon per minute aerator. So I guess there are maybe some locales that require a higher GPM at a kitchen sink in a restaurant. I don't know, but we'll leave the 1.8 on there. But I am actually going to take it off right now because when we turn the water on for the first time, if there's any debris in the lines, we want it to flush out now and go down the drain instead of clogging up our aerator, which it will certainly do. So let me reach under here, turn on the water lines, turn on the valves. Can you get that one, Rad?
Yeah.
I got it. Okay, you got it? Nice.
All right.
Cool, cool.
No leaks.
No leaks. And here we go. It'd be so nice to have a sink in here.
Whoa!
A lot of air in that line. There we go.
Nice.
We'll be able to wash some grapes now. All right, that's just air in the line. Let it all come out. The water's already hot. I can tell because the body of the valve's getting hot. We're so close to the water here. All right, that's plenty. Aerator back on. I mean, that was probably what, 10 gallons a minute?
Yeah, that's coming out quick.
Look at that.
Nice.
Talking. Oh, I can't wait. We'll get some soap, put some muckenders on here. Awesome. Nice job, bud. That didn't take long at all. Now I've got a little pipe dope right here. Simply going to clean it up with a muckender towel.
Nice. Good job, you. I didn't do nothing.
Moral support. Oh, look at that. Nice.
Wow. It's basically glue. It's just cleaning it right up.
Yep. Perfect. And we got this on the corner. That's some shipping marks right there. All right, let's give this thing a clean up. Put our tools away. Show it to Jordan. Finally, we have a sink in our garage where we can wash our hands and everything else. That's how you install a commercial sink in your garage, guys. Don't be afraid to attempt it. It's pretty easy, not a whole lot more difficult than installing one of those plastic ones that we all tend to hate. So thanks so much for watching the video. Hope you enjoyed it. Don't forget, MUCKENDER towels, our very first product in collaboration with a couple of other YouTubers. We'll put a link below. We'll also put links below for all the important parts, tools, and materials we use for this install. Thanks so much for watching. Don't forget you can also check us on our main channel on YouTube, Stud Pack, where we're building that massive house right next door. Thanks for all the support. Hit that like button, subscribe, and we'll see you on our very next video.